believers. There is a difference between someone who says Salaam alaikum and someone who doesn't. Alright? Usually when someone doesn't say Salaam alaikum, what people say about him? And someone who always comes to the gathering that never says Salaam alaikum, never shakes hands, whatever. Huh? Arrogant. He thinks he's better than us to say Salaam alaikum to us. Okay? So don't allow the people to think that of you. Say Salaam alaikum and mean it from your heart. It creates love and connection amongst the Muslims. Also, another benefit is increase your good deeds. We said Salaam alaikum gives you right away 10 good deeds. Salaam alaikum rahmatullah 20. So it increases your good deeds, and every Muslim should always strive to do that. Another benefit is one of the reasons to enter Al-Jannah. One of the keys to Al-Jannah is to spread salam, spread greeting, as we said in the hadith of Abdullah ibn Salam. أفشوا السلام أطعموا الطعام صلوا الأرحام صلوا والناس نيام بالليل والناس نيام تدخلون الجنة بسلام. Spread he started ﷺ by spreading greetings. Spread Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullah. Tell everyone you know and you don't know from amongst the Muslims, because we will talk about the non-Muslim. Also, another benefit, there is mentioning and remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you say Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullah, so you're making dhikr. Okay, you're making dhikr with your tongue. Salaam alaikum wa rahmatullah. And we said Salam is also one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. Some violations when it comes to Salam. Some mistakes that people do and a lot of us are unaware of, that we need to pay attention to. The very first violation that we fall into regarding the greeting is we don't do greeting. We don't. Okay? And some of us might meet and they will greet, Muslims will greet hi and then start talking. What's up? And start talking. Good morning, and start talking. Okay? Or on the phone, you call someone, hello? Alright? Or hi, or hello, or whatever. And you know he's calling you Muslim, or you're calling a Muslim. So all these things are mistakes that we should be aware of, and we should increase doing it. We should make sure that we're doing salam the way it's supposed to, and in the right fashion. Some people, as I mentioned already, they're content and it's sufficient for them just to make a sign. As I said, he'll walk in and he keeps going. He sees a Muslim, he raises his hand, and he won't even say anything. Sometimes he will nod his head. Hey, what's up? Alright? Some people like that. Or maybe his eyes. Okay, blink his eyes. No, salam, these things can come along with salam that is verbal. Okay? It has to be said. Salam alaikum has to be said to the point where he can hear you. Even whispering is not enough. Okay? That's very important. These things, if they come along and you walk Salam alaikum, that's okay. Okay? Or Salam alaikum, that's okay. But very important that we pay attention to this. يقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا تسلموا تسليم اليهود فإن تسليمهم بالرؤوس والأكف والإشارة. Do not greet each other the way the Jews greet each other, the way they greet each other with the hands and with the sign and with their heads. Okay? Without saying anything. Okay? So it's very important. Some people leave salam and use things that are lower. There is no reward out of them. As I already gave the example. Salam alaikum, he will not say salam. Hi. You meet a Muslim in a public area and you say Salam alaikum, brother. And he's like, huh? Like now he's embarrassed if he says wa alaikum salam. Okay? Maybe the people he's walking with, I can't say that. So he will say, hi. Some people do that. Okay? And he is obligated to answer, and he's sinful for not answering. Forget about the other issue, the issue of loyalty to the deen of Islam. It's even more major. But here he's embarrassed to say wa alaikum salam. Okay? So it's very important that you answer and you say what you're supposed to say. After that, it's okay to use anything else. Salamu alaikum, marhaba, ahlan wa sahlan, kif hal. But start, and the Prophet said, marhaban bi ummi hani, some ulama said, that's after salam. So it's very important that you start with salam, and then after that you can add good morning, good afternoon, how are you, you know, whatever. Also, some of the problems and some of the mistakes is عمتم صباحا or عمتم مساء. The Prophet, and this is forbidden because this is what they used to use in al-Jahiliyyah. The time of ignorance, this is a way of greeting. Yani the non-Arabic don't use it, and few of the Arabs use it, but to those who use it, عمتم صباحا and عمتم مساء, that is from al-Jahiliyyah, and we're not supposed to use it. Also, some people, when they're greeted, they are, يعني they all they can say is wa alaykum. Tell them Assalamu alaikum wa alaykum. طيب Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa alaykum. طيب Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh wa alaykum. That is not right. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says at least يعني the same. If you're being greeted, at least when you answer the same. He says Assalamu alaikum, say wa alaykum assalam. And wa alaykum is the answer for the non-Muslims. The Jews used to come to the Prophet and say, Assalamu alaykum. Sam, yani the death. Sam, not salam. Sam, alaykum. Will tell the Prophet, yani death be upon you. So the Prophet will answer them, wa alaykum salam. They did not say salam, so he said, wa alaykum. Okay? Wa alaykum. You tell me death be upon me, then death be upon you too. Wa alaykum. Alright? So that is how you greet. Because sometimes they can use these words and they can change them. يلوون ألسنتهم, يعني they play with the words. So it's very important that Assalamu alaikum, a Muslim, wa alaikum salam, at least. Even with the non-Muslims, some of the ulama said, you follow the ayah. The ayah applies to Muslims as well as if a non-Muslim comes to you and says Assalamu alaikum, and you know for sure that he's saying Assalamu alaikum, then at least you answer him wa alaikum salam out of justice. ولا يجرمنكم شنآن قوم على ألا تعدلوا اعدلوا هو أقرب للتقوى. So out of justice and fulfilling the orders of Allah, since you are sure that he did not say Assalamu alaikum or did not mean something else, he said Assalamu alaikum, then you go with the minimum. Wa alaikum assalam. Okay? And that is al-ma'ruf. Okay? That's even some of the ulama said that's with the non-Muslim. And some of the ulama said wa alaikum, and that's it, because this doesn't apply to them. Also, it's forbidden to say alayka as-salam. Yani there are some anashid, right? Alayka as-salam, Rasul al-Anam and all that, right? ما تعرف? طيب. Alayka as-salam is actually forbidden to say, as the Prophet ﷺ forbid the man who came to him and said alayka as-salam. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يعني لا تقل عليك السلام فإنها تحية الأموات. And this is the greeting of the dead people. But we know the dead people and the living people, the greeting of them in Islam is Assalamu alaikum ahla qawmin mu'mineen. Okay? Assalamu alaikum to the living. But some of the ulama said alayka as-salam, this is the greeting of the people of al-Jahiliyyah. The way when they want to remember someone dead, they will say alayka as-salam so and so. So because it's the way of the people of ignorance and the people of the time of ignorance and the time of al-Jahiliyyah, the Prophet ﷺ forbade them from that. But that is what the Prophet ﷺ meant, tahiyyat al-mawta. But we know in Islam, tahiyyat al-mawta, when you go to the grave, you say assalamu alaykum dara qawmin mu'minin. Also, when you greet a woman, a Muslim woman, you greet her, we said we limit it to the verbal. You don't go into kissing and hugging and shaking hands, huh? All right. What's about greeting the non-Muslims? You cannot greet, and you're not allowed to greet the non-Muslims with tahiyyat al-Islam. And you cannot come to a crowd of non-Muslims, your co-workers, your classmates, whatever, and say Assalamu alaikum. Especially, maybe it's not applicable here, but might be more applicable to non-Muslims who live, Arab non-Muslims who live in a Muslim country, or non-Arabs but non-Muslims who live with the majority of Muslims. You don't tell them Assalamu alaikum. This tahiyya and this greeting is